Hi folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and for the last week I have been in Arizona visiting family, and I got home and I had lots of packages. And of those packages was my new inspiration bundle from Thunderhorse Descendant. Now I'm awful proud of this picture because, hey, it's mine. I loaned it to Randee so she could do these. So this is I think she named this April Flowers. I could be wrong, but there is our pretty card that she did with lots of information on daisies. And so this is our beginning card. And I have 2 of these. Why? Not because I ordered 2. I ordered 1, but then that night I won the ducky race, so I got the second one free. So let's turn down. I was gonna only open 1 of them. However, Randee tells us that there is a nymph pendant in here, a garden nymph, and that there are 4 or 5 different ones. So I want to see what I got in both of them. So let's open up our packages and let's see what we got. As you can see, I have both packages here. I am going to slit them both right now. However, I'm just going to open one all the way, and then I'm just going to open the second one to find out what my pendant is, to see if they're different. And so we'll set the second one aside until after we open our first one up, and then we'll open the second to see what our pendant is. Now, she doesn't give a list, though all of our pieces are identified. This one is 30 pieces of daisy spacers. 8mm by 2mm Tibetan silver daisy spacer stars. These are pretty ones, aren't they? Come on, focus on that. There we go. So these are really nice spacers. I like those a lot. Let's put those back in the little package. To the side. Next here we have the STST Engraved Daisy Pendant with a jump ring. Stainless steel. That's what the STST stands for. Okay, let's get the little jump ring put back in there. We don't want it to get lost. That is looks like it's a split ring type of jump ring. No, it's a regular jump ring. But here is our little pendant. It's got a little engraved daisy on it. You see that there? I think that's pretty. So there's our pendant, our stainless steel pendant. Then we have a tiara cast toggle clasp. Now I really like this toggle, though I will truthfully say I usually use these for connectors or for a chandelier earring because they tend to have more than one hole. See, it has 3 in it, if you can see through. Yeah, there we go. So that's a really pretty one. "18 inches stainless steel chain." Now it looks like this is a completed chain because there is a lobster claw on this side. Now, if I use this as a chain for hanging something on, I will most likely change out both this jump ring here and the lobster claw. Even though lobster claw seems to work just fine, I prefer a larger lobster claw because, hey, let's face it, I'm getting older and a lobster one is easier to work with if it's bigger. So there's the chain. Then we have Tibetan silver flower of life connectors, 2 pieces. Aren't those pretty? Flower of Life connectors. Go back in your bag, little one. Guess you don't want to. Well, sorry. Next are two 32mm by 33mm Tibetan silver bird charms. Now, these are pretty. They look like little swallows. And they are pretty much two-sided. So there are our birds. Tibetan silver earring finders, 2 pieces. Now these are cool. I think I'm going to have to wire wrap some stuff onto here, though. That's what I'm thinking my plan is going to be. So that's those, the Tibetan silver earring findings, I should say. 2 pieces. Okay, here's my first garden nymph pendant. Double-sided acrylic garden nymph pendant. Oh, I like her. She's she's very pretty. Isn't she pretty? So there is the garden nymph pendant from this particular bag. So we'll put that aside as well. Next, it looks like we have 2 pair of Czech glass ladybugs. Looks like I have a purple set and a red set. Those pretty. Next we have the Blossom bead mix in red, purple, pink Czech glass and Chinese crystal bead mix. There's supposed to be 22 pieces in here. I'm not going to find them to count them to check, but looks like we have a couple of teardrops. Looks like a couple of red teardrops and a couple of pink teardrops for purple beads. 4 red, and then a bunch of bicones in red. Aren't those pretty? So that's a really pretty little mix. I like those beads a lot. Next, we have a 4mm matte lilac fuchsia Czech glass fire polish bead strand. So this says lilac and fuchsia, but it sort of looks almost more like red and blue. I think this would be great for a patriotic holiday. But those are pretty. Even though I'm not a big matte person, those are a pretty little bead. Oh, looks like we have a spool of Peridot soft flex beading wire in medium size, a 10-foot spool. So that's cool. Then we have 6mm olive green Czech glass pearl bead strand. Quite frankly, these look sort of gold to me. I guess they are sort of olivey green, but they're obviously cut, drilled off sides because they are going either way. You know, this would actually make a rather pretty bracelet. Not long enough, but it would. But might have to string some other things in there to make it do that, but it would make a pretty bracelet. So there's that. We'll open that last. 6mm dyed agate bead strand, robin's egg blue. Now these are pretty. And you can see they are dyed because some of them are lighter colored than others. Have different coloration, like there's some browns in here. But this is a nice strand of beads. Go back in there, babies. And lastly, we have a clamshell. If I can get this to open easily. Probably not, because it's, let's see here, get my thumbnail underneath here and cut this tape. Come on, cut this side too. There we go. Boy, this baby is packed full. It says it's a Flower Power Czech glass clamshell bead mix, 1.28 ounces. A lot of stuff in there. Hopefully I can get it open without sending them flying everywhere. Come on, baby. Let's click this last bit up here. There we go. Now I'm going to dump them in our, at least half of them into my dish here, and the other half can stay here. You can see we have all kinds of spring colors here. There's some pinks and greens and yellow. A few little purples, like this guy. And this pink. But those are pretty guys. I am not a big fan of daggers, so I'm not sure I will use this or this one over here or these guys here, but you never can tell. We'll have to see what I come up with. These almost remind me of cactus flowers. Having just been in Arizona, if you've ever seen a cactus flower, they're big and they come out from the side of the cactus like so. So that's what those remind me of, as cactus flowers. But there's all kinds of spring colors in this little mix. Oh, there's a leaf. Cool. So now I have to get it to close again. Sometimes easier said than done with these kind of things. I don't want to break anything, so we don't want to force it. Well, we'll get that closed later. What we want to do now is get the other set out and see if we can see what the other pendant I have is. In the meantime, I'm just going to shove part of these back in here. This is the pendant we have from this case. And let's see what we have in this one. There it is. We don't need the rest of this stuff. It's all the same. Well, the bead mix is probably a little different, but let's see what our other little nymph, garden nymph looks like. Oh, isn't she pretty? I like her. So there, it's two-sided. Now this was my original one from my other package, from the one we've had open. And this is the one from my second package. Aren't those cute? Those are going to make some pretty little necklaces. So there are our two nymphs. So we'll put this little lady back into the other package. And this little one can go into the original. And so we need to get this baby closed, and then I can put it away too. So that is our package from our Thunderhorse Descendant Inspiration Bundle for April. The daisy. There is our card again. How pretty. She did such a wonderful job with this card. But, yeah, I like all these pretties. I hope you enjoyed seeing them with me. I especially enjoyed our little pendants, and they were different, as she said. I have 2 different pendants, so that's great. So this has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, and as I said, we've been opening up our inspiration bundle from Thunderhorse Descendant. It's called April Flowers. So, I don't know if she has any left now, in case you're wondering. I know she had said, was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? Anyway, that she had 3 left. So I'm not sure she still does, but if you want one, you better hop over to Thunderhorse Descendant and grab one. We'll talk to you later. This has been Rose from In Rose's Garden.